Personal gain, money, personal gain. All right, now, I don't know exact date, but 100 or so years ago, or probably even a little less, there was a concept introduced to planet Earth called capitalism. Now, there's always been a guy making a car, or making a gadget or something to sell to somebody. That's capitalism. But I'm talking about extreme capitalism, where you make something out of nothing. The bank does this all the time, right? They'll take your money, $1,000, put a little interest sign on it. The next day, it's worth more. In fact, with that $1,000, they'd go loan her. It's totally legal, the government. Loan her $10,000 based on your $1,000. It's all digital stuff, right? So it doesn't. There's nothing there really. Well, Wall Street decided in 2008 to do. I mean, that's where they blew it up, because they were doing this game of with mortgage companies and different type of finances, and who knows what a derivative is. Making this game money out of nothing. No service, no product, and that's why we find ourselves in this kind of situation, right? How many people lost money in 2008 debacle? Yeah, right. Man, I've lived long enough, and I keep telling Scientologists, I lived long enough to see that Wall Street do this all the time. They'll get people to put money in the stock, right? Stock's going up, stock's going up, stock's going up. All of a sudden, crash, right?
Well, that was the .com.
Yeah. Well, guess what? You put money in there, it went somewhere. Valerie says, where there's a lose, there's a win. That $100,000 thereabouts in my house, it went somewhere. It's worth less than $100,000 now than it did a few years ago. Who took my hard-earned cash? Mortgage companies, the bankers. See, they drive nice cars. It went somewhere. It doesn't disappear. That's a lie. The rich get richer, you get poor. All right. Okay. So how are we going to reverse this thing here? How do we handle this stuff instead of slipping into their game? Well, the first thing you do is you don't play their game, because it's a losers for you game. Why? Because they make the rules. You know who Sonny Bono was?
Okay.
Right? Married Sonny the sheriff, right, one time. He became a congressman. He was a Scientologist.
He was.
Yeah. And he said, in fact, he passed away right here at one of these ski places.
He passed away in Aspen, Colorado.
Yeah. Was it Aspen, Colorado? I thought it was Lake Tahoe.
No, Aspen.
Okay. Anyway, he went the first day of Congress. He addressed Congress. He said, "The trouble with Congress, the trouble with Washington, the trouble is there's too many lawyers." And they all started laughing, because who makes the rules? Lawyers. Right? Laws that we can hardly understand. You're playing their game. See? Who hires the lawyers? The capitalists. You're playing their game. Right? Right. Time for you to play your game. Right? Now there was a guy that one time he said to me, there was a guy that was a Scientologist. He says, "Well, you can't become rich if you're not taking people, committing overages." And that's a total lie. The people who own ketchup, Hunt's ketchup, I'm sure you all heard of Hunt's ketchup. You probably ate some at lunch or something. That's a nice product. Those people aren't millionaires. That's not over. So it's not true. You can become quite wealthy without enslaving people. All right. So we put on this motivation motivational scale. We put them extreme capitalists right here. I was trying to tell that person to come and share his knowledge. The guy I keep hitting on, it's class A. We need your knowledge. We need you to come here. Talk to us. It's your duty. Now, I found something else going through all this, because I went through all this one more time just before I was going to present it to you. Do you all feel like you have a personal goal in life? Anybody here, personal goal,
Yes.
theta goal, right? And I found out that to the degree you're not attaining this goal, on a scale of 1 to 10, to that degree you're out ethics. Someone who's like worried about money, worry, right? Talk about worryiness. This is not ethics, man. You know, like get your attention on your goal. Start moving in that direction. And the money will be there. I felt it was his duty to be here. Okay, so you see how this might line up. Now, how does this line up with all these here? Capitalism was invented, these things were invented long before capitalism was invented. See? And extreme capitalism, making money something out of nothing. That's what I'm talking about. Nothing wrong with making a lot of money. I like money, I drive a cab, I drive nice cars. Right, listen. But, where do you think? Now, guess what? You're running your life on one of these. Are you being socialistic? Are you being fanatical? Are you being democratic? I try to be somewhat of a republic person here, or democratic, because I asked you guys, hey, where do you want to have your next convention? Right? I asked you that. Getting your votes. Getting some surveys and getting your ideas. And operating up here. All right. That's one thing you got to look at. How do you operate your life? How do you operate your business? Now, if you operate it as a fascist, you're going to go around ARC breaking people, right? You know, you're going to like not trade ARC, you're going to trade the ARC breaks in some sense. Yeah, you got to move up. That's why you do survey. That's why Hubbard was big on surveys. He's trying to find out what people need and want. When you do your conditions, you find out what people need and want. Where's that at? Up there, democracy, republic. See that? If you're operating on your personal goals, close to number 10 as you can, you see, the thing is, you're going to win, because the thing is, your theta force lies here. All of your theta force lies here. When you're doing something down here, you got a balance. You're doing something else. You're doing something else. Well, my so-and-so uncle said I should pour all my money. Well, you got to like provide. You reinvest some of that money in services for the public. You can't just hoard it all. Right? I went into a restaurant. This particular building here, the owners, it's going broke. I want to tell you that. Why? Because the owners did not reinvest their money back into this place here. Right? They didn't even vacuum our room, right? Still stuff all over. Not the room we're going to tonight. The room we're going to tonight is really nice. But as you can see, a lot of the things they didn't reinvest. They didn't put the money in there. So the original owners are getting back the property and are selling it to somebody else who's going to put money into this casino. So you have to like put money back into your business so you can make it even better. If you are an auditor, put money back in more training so you can audit better. See what I mean? You got to take a little bit of that money and reinvest it in your products. I notice you have very good brochures. You guys seen our brochures?
Oh, they're
High quality, excellent brochures. The best, better than mine. Someone already lectured me about it. Get it as good as yours. We'll get there. You gotta reinvest. All right. So you gotta look at your 1 to 10, how much you are willing to give up, how much you're willing to do towards your goals. Because most of your data is locked up here, achieving your goal. Otherwise you're being somebody else. Acting like Scrooge, Uncle Willie or something. You know? All right. So I'll give you some datums here. I don't want to go too long. Hubbard had a LRH command for gaining wealth. He says, your success depends upon the production of an effect. Your finance depends upon attracting interest. Your finance depends on attracting interest.
You say those again.
It goes along with rich and famous, right? You know the old story, rich and famous. If you're famous, you handle it right, you can be rich. At least write a book, people will buy it. You're famous, right? Rich and famous go hand in hand. Now, if I did this like some auditors I know, kept hidden away, afraid of the church, don't expose myself, don't come to conventions, am I going to make any money? As an auditor? No, I got to go do real estate or something. But I really want to be an auditor. My goal's up here, but I got to go sell real estate because I'm afraid of the church. I'm out of balance. Not everybody can be an auditor, believe me. Yeah, not everybody has to be an auditor. Nobody says that. But with a skill, you can be a better business person. You can be a better whatever. If you have those skills about the mind, about data. All right? Because that's going to get you toward your goal, whatever that is. Somebody had a question.
Yeah, would you give us those two statements again, please?
All right.
Success depends on...
Your success depends, I'll try to give you a copy of this, but your success depends upon the production of an effect. Your finance depends upon attracting interest. So I tell auditors, I tell Class 8, I told this class, come here because you're going to be on the internet. People are going to see you because these videos go on the internet. You're going to attract interest. All right, you want to be a real estate agent, fine. But at least they know I'd rather buy real estate from a Class 8 than somebody else who's not even a Scientologist. Because I might get a better deal or get some honesty out of this guy about that house. Well, that's it. Come here. Attract interest. You want to make money. Can't come, anyway. So you guys got that too, right? All right, so the other thing he says is, if your finance faltering you will discover immediately why if you realize that the financial system is a communication system. And that the communication systems are the background of what you're doing. So I can give you a copy of this here if you can't write it all down. So if your money's low, you're just looking at a communication system. The dollar you have in your pocket, someone else had it yesterday. Money flows. It goes one person to the next, right? All you have to do is be smart enough to get in that flow. You know, take a little bit off for yourself, give it to the next guy. Because you're supposed to be saving at least 10% of your income. guys know that, right? Let me do that. Really, only half of you.
Nothing left to
Well,
say.
the rest of you. You gotta do it. You gotta do it.
You say that again.
We didn't fully acknowledge it.
You'll get it from the video on the internet slowly, and you
No,
can
say what
write it
again?
down.
I mean, what, which
Say
part?
about the 10%, right here.
Save 10% of the income.
Of rates.
10%. It's in the finance policy letters. Just, you said, pay yourself 10% of your, not gross income, but the income of net. So say you made $1,000, but it cost you $500 to make it. Say what, $50? Say 10% of $500. Right? You don't follow me on that? Yeah. Okay.
But if you say that, what about the IRS?
What about the
Just don't put it in the bank, and we'll never know about it.
I didn't say that.
I didn't say you said that.
This, I want to make sure I'm on video. Yeah, if you're paying, I think 40 or 40, more than 40% of the people in America don't pay income tax. Because they don't make enough. And there's enough loopholes that you don't have to pay. So like the lower 40% don't pay, and of course the higher ones don't pay either. They pay very little. You know who pays income tax? Is the middle class. People are making $50,000, $100,000 or more, up to, once you get up to $250,000, then you start paying less, because you find, you know, you get a good accountant, you get all these loopholes. You guys are paying. Okay. A person who is trying to prevent communications from occurring will try to prevent money from being received. So say I don't come to the convention. I'm shutting off my communication from the internet, right? Say I don't put my website on the internet. Shutting off my communication. Say I don't promote, and I'm an auditor. I'm shutting off my communication. I think you're getting the drift. Your product is a good product. The one that gave you the $40. I tried it. You just got to promote, get on the comm line, so those people who want that kind of products. Marketing, so you got to look at all the marketing PLs. A lot of independent Scientologists do not look at green on white. They don't do green on white. That's the policy letters, right? They should. Anyway, let's go on. If a person finds difficulty or being definite about money, not liking money, he needs only to run, I can have money, I cannot have money. In addition to that, the negative and positive of accepting and delivering communication. So that's a process you can run on yourself. Or somebody can run it on you. Well, that's a lot better. You can have money, I cannot have money. You can have communication, I cannot have it. There's other processes too, but I can't, I'm not going to get into it right now. I'm just giving you some tips. But we do have a whole money rundown we do with people. And anybody's done it, increase their income flow. See? All right. You guys got this right here?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
I think I agree with the concept, and it is, LRH talked about exchange and abundance, and you should make money if you're not producing anything, so I think that's right on. I think the word capitalism, there might be, capitalism just means privately held means of production. This is an economic system in which the means of production and distribution are privately or corporately owned.
Right.
I think the Wall Street makes money off of lack of information. So when they do all this stuff on Wall Street, buying and selling, that the person selling, it's manipulation of the market, not necessarily building a building, which is capital to produce a product. So I think the point is well taken. I think the definition of capital, there's a different word for what you're talking about.
I call it supreme capitalism,
Okay.
not capitalism. You know, you have a factory, you make cars, or you make something, that's capitalism. You sell it, you make it, and that's your product, that's fine. Henry Ford was a capitalist. Extreme capitalism, to me, is somebody who's like a bank who makes money out of interest or makes it out of nothing.
With no production. Right?
No production, you know, doesn't give anything back to society.
Actually, the British had a perfectly fine word for that called mercantilism. And mercantilism is different from capitalism in the sense that capitalism should be a free market activity.
Yes.
Mercantilism is where a private industry gets a privilege from the state to have an advantage over other competitors.
Yeah.
Okay. Wall Street, the banks, all these guys have privileges from the state that people can't, competitors can't compete with.
Right.
So the fact that we're forced to use these small number of big companies, and in fact with the Federal Reserve, it's the most mercantilist thing of all in the entire economy. Okay. So I agree with you. I want to defend the word capitalism. It's got tarnished.
I'm not anti-capitalism.
I'm not saying you are.
No.
Okay. And you differentiate it against extreme capitalism. I would just say call it mercantilism because that's what it really is. Or mercantilism. I don't know how you pronounce that.
Cannibalism, yeah. They're eating our money. Yeah. I don't know what he's saying.
Mercantile, like
Mercantilism.
Mercantile.
Mercantilism.
It's a new word.